Hello, my name is Terry Robinson, and this is another episode of Terry on the Trail. Usually I will be talking about another point in the history of New Hampshire, but this time around I want to talk about something that's happening right now. No doubt you have seen the many protests across the nation, all due to the murder of George Floyd at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer. I don't know if you've seen the video or not, but I can tell you, watching the life drain out of a black man's eyes, something that's now seared into my head forever. I couldn't help but wonder, what if that was my father? What if that was me? What if that was my best friend? Or what if that was a future kid of mine? As a young black man, I've always been taught to be cognizant of how I enter spaces, of the tone that I take, of the words that I use, of the things that I say and do, and how well I say or do it. I've been taught to think before every interaction or action that I have, because I don't know what might set off a chain of events that might take my life. It's hard for me. I wrote an open letter this weekend, and in it I said that I felt like I was walking on eggshells, that I felt like I didn't belong in a country that I was born into. A country that spent 400 years telling me that I was not good enough because of the color of my skin. Looking at 200 years of slavery, looking at 100 years of institutionalized racism, hearing the stories of my father in segregated Mississippi, and experiencing my own moments of racism myself. I can tell you that now, every single instance that I hear about another black man or woman getting murdered, I can only think of how I felt during those moments. When I saw Philando Castile being murdered, I was too afraid to drive. So it took me a year after I finished my driving course just to get my license. I remember watching Sandra Bland and the excessive force that they used. I remember seeing Eric Garner saying that he couldn't breathe, and the cops still did what they did. I remember hearing about Trayvon Martin, and my parents having to talk to me about what I can and cannot do, and the fact that I can't wear a hood on my head anymore. My life was drastically altered. The George Floyd incident is a moment where we can all make a choice to do better. Whether it's in our daily interactions with people of color, whether it's standing by and watching racism and not saying anything about it, we can change our behaviors. And this requires a change on every level, social and government. I want to build a better future for the children I wish to have. I don't want to raise them in a country where they're going to be taught to hate themselves because other people hate them. I've had so many conversations this week with people. We're all feeling the outrage and the pain of the protesters across the nation. And all I can think about is how we should do our part. I was taught that the first step to solving any problem is knowing that there is one. Well, I see that people are finally waking up and realizing that racism is still alive and well in our country. The next step is to talk about that problem, to have open and honest communication and dialogues, to seek to understand what it means to be Black in America, so that you can understand why we are so afraid and why are we so outraged. I just want everyone to speak up. Use the platform that you have to give a voice to people who don't have a voice. People who have been marginalized in communities that have been taken for granted. At the end of the day, my community lives matter. My family lives matter. My life matters. And Black lives matter. And I hope to see you support organizations that is helping to foster equality in our country. Organizations like the Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire, or the ACLU, or the NAACP, or the Black Lives Matter movement. Whether you're getting involved in volunteering or whether you're donating money, support organizations that are doing the work to solve these issues today. It's up to you and I to help solve this problem and promote diversity and equality in our communities. We have to start it here at home, and hopefully we can spread it across the nation as well. Thank you.